is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Run 'em Wedge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and this is where we explore a return to a more natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms.
And Nico is on vacation, and we miss him, and so Steven from Healthy Fit Club is in to sit with me. We have an exciting guest that we're going to bring on in a few minutes, and you know, it's a beautiful day, foggy, 62 degrees in downtown Clearwater, and we're taking your questions, and you can always contact me at paige@tfnn.com, and you can give us a call if you're up bright and early this morning at
877-927-6648.
So, hey, Steven, how was your holiday?
Fantastic.
Thanks
Nice
for
and
coming in
relaxing.
this morning.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Do you got plans for the New Year's?
I do.
I don't know if I want to ask. You know, a single guy. What do you got planned for New Year's
I'm going
Eve?
to go out and have some fun. I'm going to a rooftop bar, hotel/restaurant in downtown St. Pete. Should be lots of fun.
Nice.
So I've got that going on.
Nice.
Yeah.
All planned. Great. Yeah, I'm going to have a quiet one. I'm looking forward to that. We wanted to get together today. Nico is enjoying his vacation, and Steve and I wanted to talk a little bit about starting the new year right. And I don't know if there's anything that's more important to starting the year right than touching on the basics. So many people are wanting to do cleanses, detoxes, but when it really comes down to it, you have to hit the core things right. And you and I are real big fans of exploring water as a basic necessity. It is the beginning of health.
That's right.
I mean,
have mine right here. No, this is not a glass bottle, but it is food-grade plastic, which next best thing. And
Yeah.
I always have very high-quality, healthy water with me.
and that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit, is what, you know, people ask all the time, what kind of water do we want to drink? We've seen so many things happening with the contamination of the water in Michigan, the high toxicity of lead and other additives.
That's right.
It's really a concern, folks. And I want to apologize in advance for anyone that I've ever misled, where I encouraged, drink bottled water, because we might shock you with what we're going to talk about today, that maybe, in fact, bottled water is not the right choice.
That's right.
And that's because we now have learned that as these bottled waters became being produced in mass quantity, these flimsy, crinkly plastics that are extruded actually expand on heat. They're like little hockey pucks, and then they blow them up, fill them with water while they're still hot. These plastics are now leaching into the water you're drinking, and in fact the plastic bottled waters that we're drinking today are now contaminating our bodies with many more plastics and chemicals that are in those plastics, over 24,000.
Yeah, and it's not just the chemicals. There's two regulatory bodies. There's the EPA, there's the FDA. So bottled water is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, which has even less stringent standards than the EPA does for your tap water, and there's no regulations on what's in that water anyway.
And the real question is, are these people actually really have our best interest? Are the FDA and the EPA, are they really doing the things that are best for our health? Or are they just part of a bureaucratic, thing that's, we're seeing today that many cities do not have clean water coming from the tap, yet this tap water may in fact be much better for us than the bottled waters that now have these, 24,000 chemicals.
Or less worse for you.
Yeah, right.
A better way to say it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a comedy of errors there. So we're going to talk about, I want to introduce, before we go to the first break, and on the first break we will bring our guests in, but our first guest is a friend of ours, a partner of ours, and we just adore Mr. Robby Besner. He is the Chief Science Officer for a company he's had for over 25 years called Therisage, leader in the world of infrared technology, or the use of light for energy. And he's also now the Chief Science Officer for TheraGoods, a company that is using infrared technology and nature-inspired technologies to help make the water we drink better for us, even directly from the tap. And so we'll be bringing Robby on right after this next
And you
break.
said he's now the Chief Science Officer. He made this watch that says now for me, which is one of my favorite things ever.
I love
Thanks,
that.
Robby.
Yeah. So if you want to know what time it is, guys,
It's now.
it's now. It's now. Now's the time to learn about better water. Now is the time to learn why. Structured water is the water that we are made of and the water that our bodies crave. And now is the time to learn why negatively charged water is what the body needs to heal and repair. And now is the time to learn where you can get this kind of stuff.
There you go.
It's very cool. I want to go over, do you have any comments you want to make before we bring Robby on, what that you want to share, Steven?
Only that the more I get to know Robby, the more, every time I talk to him, I'm wowed by his knowledge in this field, the passion that he has, and the drive that he has to help people. There's not a selfish motive or an agenda for the work that he does. He really wants to have an impact and better everybody's lives.
Yeah, he's fascinated with the power that we can get from the electromagnetic spectrum, or the infrared, both the visible light and the infrared, the light we can see and the light we don't see, and the real true magic that it creates when it works on both our bodies. And after all, we know that our bodies are over 60% water. Our cells are actually over 99% water. So it would make sense that our bodies are looking for forms of water that it can use to heal and to repair. So we'll be talking with Robby Besner at the next break. And Robby is in high demand these days, speaking worldwide at different summits. He was a big speaker at the Detox Summit this year, the Lyme Summit.
Conquering Cancer, Truth About Cancer.
Truth About Cancer seminar, and people view his insights as valuable and worthwhile, and it's really a privilege to have him on the show today. So I want to remind you to pick up some Primal Edge, our daily supplement, and start the new year healthier and more nourished. And we'll be right back after this break. Make sure and pick up our most recent copy of the Health Signals newsletter, where you can get 2 issues for $10 a month. And we'll be right back after this short break. Paige Clarke, Stephen Klein, Living a Primal Lifestyle. See you in just a second.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And Steven Klein and I are here. And we've got our guest. I think we've got him on the line now. Robby Besner, are you out there?
Yes, I am. I'm right here. Can
What's
you see
up,
me
Rob?
okay?
What's up, Robby?
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to try and talk to the people and also talk with you. Robby, thanks so much for being here today.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And, you know, Steven and I talked on the first session a little bit about the dilemma we're in. We know that, we know that we need clean water. And one of the things I want to say is that most people today in our country, have access to relatively clean water when we still have billions of people around the planet that do not. And I know a lot of these are the reasons that you feel so passionate about getting water that's not just clean but healthy for us and allows our bodies to use it. But let's talk a little bit today about what's going on in that we discovered that drinking out of these plastic bottles is extremely detrimental, especially these crinkly, soft ones. And there's got to be a better solution. And how can we get clean water right out of our tap? Can you give us a little bit of background on what inspired you to create a cost-effective solution for us?
Well, to start with, I was listening to you on the first segment, and what you were talking about and the process of extruding the plastics to make a plastic bottle, which we take for granted. I mean, the scare about chemicals in the municipal water systems. Now, obviously, there's a lot of press just recently in Michigan and different parts. I think that's just the tip of the iceberg, by the way, on many of the municipal water systems, because the local governments didn't allocate enough funds to actually keep the essential plumbing for these water systems and transport systems updated. So many of the older systems now are starting to break down over the years, and so you're getting things like we saw in Michigan. I think that's just the beginning of people's awareness of what we pretty much take for granted. And you're right, Paige. So, first off, the process of just making a plastic bottle, the same water that you're drinking, they're using to cool down the molten plastic that they're forming into the shape of the bottle. So you can just, people's awareness of that, you just take, again, for granted.
And And these petrochemicals, I mean, Robby, when we have all this increase in cancer and hormonal disruption, we know that these petrochemicals that are in these plastic bottles are true endocrine disruptors and known carcinogens. Is that not correct?
Oh, totally. And again, the research on this is just coming to surface now because, like Steven mentioned a little earlier and yourself, the regulators, we have, you know, governmental regulators from a sort of a global perspective, but they're not fine-tuning the processes enough to truly understand what's in the water that we're drinking. And so, you know, many people flush their medications down their toilets and so forth. That's going into the water systems, and the chemicals that they're using actually just to kill bacteria and things that, you know, are important for us that I don't necessarily agree with either, like the fluorides and a lot of the chlorines that are in waters now that were normally used years ago as a beneficial process to kill certain bacteria, now are turning out to be, you know, very, very harmful. And ultimately, when you roll all of it up and we start to wonder why people are getting sicker from systemic diseases at much younger ages, these are all the things. These are all the stressors.
It's all these compounding of stressors. That's a great way to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now, so we know a little bit about the problem. And so you, who gets up at the crack of dawn and meditates and thinks about things and ponders things, decided you wanted to come up with a solution that we could improve and get really great quality water, great energizing water to super hydrate us, to super energize ourselves straight from our tap. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration for the new product that you're launching, the Thera H2O products. Give me a little background on that.
Well, to go way back, it started with my inspiration on why I found and how I found the healing powers of an extraction of sun energy, which is the infrared spectrum of sunlight. And so when the sun shines on the earth, it generates a full range of frequencies, various different wavelengths. And it turns out that the infrared spectrum, which comes right after rainbow light, which is the light that we see every day, that gives us color and so forth, is an invisible spectrum that's called infrared. And it's broken down into 3 different wavelengths, and they penetrate at different depths into the body. And they create an amazing physiological event. And I got started on that because my daughter, about 17 years ago, contracted Lyme disease. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I were searching. We're kind of holistic naturopathics. I have a medical school background and so forth, although I'm not an MD. And so in studying Lyme, I realized that Lyme disease was the protocols. In fact, today their CDC hasn't really come up with a direct protocol for Lyme because it's a disease that affects individuals differently, each individual based on their different systems. But for us as a family, I chose not to focus on the protocol, mostly on the secondary condition that follows many people with chronic ailments, Lyme, fibromyalgia, cancers, things like that. And that's high levels of toxicity. So what's the best way to detox? And that was my main focus. Found infrared wavelengths, so the frequencies of sun energy will actually create a detox event body.
Uh-oh. Okay. I think we're having a little bit of
technical difficulty.
Audio difficulties, so it looks like we're going to have to take a break here anyway. So, Robby, hang tight if you hear us, and we'll work on this mic thing on the break. But I think what we've learned here is that the sun is the power of light is crucial in creating water that nature intended, you know, empowering that water the way nature intended. So we'll definitely explore this when we get back from our break, and hopefully we'll have a better connection with Robby after the break. And so we'll look forward to reconnecting with Robby and exploring how infrared energy actually heats the water, activates the water, energizes the water in nature, but we can actually do this now in our homes. And it's really like getting light therapy. And as if we're all kind of light deprived today, and if we are actually getting light energy in our water, this can be quite powerful if you think about it.
Yeah, and I've talked to Robby enough about this that I can do the tape recorder information for you that we don't get the connection. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's really cool stuff.
What we can do. So we'll see you after the break.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. We're talking about healthy water with Stephen Klein, and we've also got Robby Besner. He'll be popping back in on our Skype connection if it...
It's kind of like an astronaut today. It's not working.
Yeah.
Houston.
Houston, where are you? Okay, so... What we're saying is that Robby has taken the technology of taking infrared energy and using it to restructure and to help clean, filter, structure, and energize the water that we bring in our cells. So you want to kind of go over a little bit of that?
Have we got him or not? He's not.
I don't see him in the
okay,
thing.
so I've talked to Robby at length. It's fascinating. So Robby, who is one of the world leaders in light therapy for detoxification, he started to tell us about that, how when his daughter contracted Lyme disease, medical background, he realized that the best way to detoxify the human body is with light therapy through infrared saunas. He's in huge demand, obviously, for that. Well,
I mean, Dr. Mercola actually decided that his sauna technology is the best he's ever seen.
Yeah, and he said he's going to stop selling his own to sell. I mean, that's pretty powerful
I know.
stuff.
I've seen multiple articles about that.
Yeah, so Robby had read, so there was a scientist named Emoto who is now passed, deceased, Japanese scientist, and he had been, even in a couple of movies, referenced how the power of thinking on water and things like that. He studied the different forms that it takes, right? So if it's healthy, it's structured a different way.
So sound is structuring the water.
Thought, I mean, there's a lot of things. Then Gerald Pollack kind of picked up his work, and he's considered one of the foremost experts in water.
University
today.
of Washington, PhD.
Wrote a book that's like this thick that I saw when I was at the, I met him, we have, at the
we
biohacking
did.
conference.
Yeah, we went,
It's called The Fourth Phase of Water, and it really gets into,
I've read it.
So we realize, obviously, that we have liquid in the form of water, we have ice is the solid, and we have vapor.
Vapor is the gas.
Steam is the gas. Well, there's a fourth phase, which is a crystalline structured water, and it just so happens that when water is impacted with certain frequencies from that infrared spectrum, but that are the same ones that Robby was already familiar with, that you can change the structure to that fourth phase of water, also known as easy water, structured water, crystalline water.
Yeah, the easy water term came from Pollack's work, that it actually refers to the exclusion zone, and the exclusion zone is where the water molecules stack and create a negative charge. And we believe that this exclusion zone may actually have so many implications in even how our body works, because as we mentioned, our body is water, and it may actually be part of the physiology of how the cells operate. And
yeah, it's that H3O2, different molecular structure, gel-like, and it's the most biocompatible form of water that there is, so your cells can communicate better, transfer waste better, get the nutrients to the cells better, everything that we talked about. So that, in essence, when Robby looked at creating something to give us the highest quality water, he looked at creating a filtration system that not only removes all of the bad stuff, which
brings all the good stuff back in.
He created and put and installed an infrared chamber within both the countertop pitcher, the countertop unit that he has with their H2O, and a pitcher where they've got a chamber that will not only, like I said, throughout the filtration process, remove bad stuff, chloramines, fluoride, all the stuff we talked about that's in our municipal water supply, but it'll restructure and re-energize the water, making it living water that we were kind of talking about.
Correct.
And that's just a Band-Aid compared to what Robby could say about it, but I've spoken to him enough about it that it really is amazing. And when I look at not having that water available, I'm kind of like, man, I want my Robby water.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what we want to say is that many people we're spending thousands of dollars to get whole house filtrations where they're removing the chemicals. Yes, many of them were not even removing the fluoride. I want to talk a little bit about fluoride, and Nico and I go down that rabbit hole quite a bit about, why do we have fluoride in the water? It really is quite a concern when you start to see what it really does to our body. But you really have to pay a lot more money to get chemicals like fluoride out of the water. But that still does nothing to the structure of the water. Most filtration is not restructuring the water to this H3O2. And this is the form that the water in our bodies are. It is the form that babies are born with, the structured water, and are healthy and all of these things. So Robby's vision was to bring the ability to have structured water affordably. And, the companies released the product. They're not shipping yet, but I think if you go to theragoods.com, you can take advantage of some of the pre-launch offers now.
Yeah, we're just outside of 30 days from Robby's target date for delivery, which is anywhere between February 1st and February 15th. So
yeah, so at the website, there's some incentive to order the pitcher or the countertop unit. You can see the countertop unit in the back of the telestrator right now. and it attaches easily to your faucet. And you can be moved, and it's portable, and the filter lasts a good long time. It's easy to recover, and we hope that you guys will take advantage of getting better water, more as nature intended, directly from your tap. The other thing is, let's take a look at, not only are these plastic bottle toxins, these petrochemicals that we're getting in these plastic bottles bad for our health, but what they're doing to our environment.
Oh.
I think we know that in the Pacific Ocean there are these islands of plastic that one of them in the Pacific Ocean is the size of the state of Texas.
I think California just prohibited the sale of plastic bottles to the statewide, which for a state to pass a law like that, there's got to be a pretty big issue.
Well, I think that's a sign of things to come, and I think we should view that positively, knowing what we know now.
Absolutely.
That not only do they pollute the environment, but they're also very dangerous by way of the chemicals that are getting infused into this water that we think is better. And I, like I said at the beginning of the show, I want to apologize in advance when I told people, oh, you shouldn't be drinking tap water. You should be getting bottled water because it's not good what's coming out of the tap. And yes, we've got fluoride, but honestly, we have relatively clean water. There are people all over the country, or the world, excuse me, not really our country, but the world, that would be thrilled to drink the water out of our toilets. I mean, I know that sounds sort of gross, but when you think about it.
Yeah, we'll give them the alternative when you talk about third world and not having the availability of water and dying of thirst. Absolutely, there is not water plenty available for most people around the world. So.
Billions of people are surprised that we even actually use the bathroom in our water. They know that water is so precious. They're going to go in the woods somewhere, and they think and you do this. They're pretty amazed. And actually, when you think about that, that is kind of weird. Maybe we should, think about some of those things. But I'd like to talk a little bit more about getting properly hydrated and acclimating yourself to structured water and how we can absorb it and how our bodies can use it. How many people do you know that are drinking a gallon of water and they're still dehydrated? Robby tells us that despite whether or not people are drinking a little bit of water or a lot of water, we have a lot of people chronically dehydrated. Why don't we hold on to it? What's the reason that we're not staying hydrated? You ever heard of people that drink a lot of water and they say, I'm just constantly going to the bathroom? They're not holding on to it.
A whole other wormhole talking about adding, high quality sea salt to your water to stay hydrated.
Keeping the minerals.
Which we talk about.
Yeah. So we'll talk about some other things about why your body wants the right kind of water and how you can get it in your home. So we'll be right back. Take a short break.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
All right, we're ready.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And wait.
And we've got him back.
Yes. We are reconnected with Robby Besner.
Hey, Robby. Sorry about that, or I guess you had to switch computers, but you're back. Can you hear us?
Yeah. I just threw a couple more quarters in the meter. So.
Hey, all right. So Steven and I were just talking, and we were just really talking on the break about the visual of the condition of our water. Let's start from, where it starts.
Yeah, Robby, when you started, I got a really crazy, that scare when you were like, yeah, most of the pipes and the infrastructure of our water supply are 50 to 100 years old, and you think about the water traveling from the source where it's treated miles and miles and miles through these cruddy old pipes and then out your tap. It's not exactly a nice image to form in your head. So,
regardless of whether or not you have a new house with new pipes there, it travels many, many miles, right?
Yeah, and basically we've gotten so far away from the way that nature has intended water to be, like how it's actually delivered. Think about it. From the atmosphere to the top of a mountain, and then snow forms, snow melts, it creates a little stream or a little river coming down the mountain. It's meandering over stones and rocks, picking up minerals, picking up energy, picking up life. It's eventually
vortexing.
It eventually spills into an ocean or a river or a tributary, or goes up into the atmosphere and comes back to us in the form of rain. But all of this is about purity, charge, and the elements that the water carries and the energy that water carries as it's brought to us, to the body. Well, if we were living 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, we'd be foraging, we'd be farming, we'd be basket weaving, whatever. We wouldn't be certainly as industrialized as we've been now, and so now we've got these cities, huge populations, and the water sources, even though they're good, for what they are, really are very far away, removed from the way nature has intended water to work with the body. And as you mentioned earlier in the earlier segment, if we hydrate well, we're maybe 72% water. The brain is 81% water. The cell is 98% water. So water fills the gap in everything that, how we manage our lives. It's essential. It's the essential transport system for cellular health, which is where basically life and energy and health, begins. So if you don't have the proper kind of hydration, and Steven, your comment, we're a nation that drinks a whole lot of water, yet nothing sticks on a cellular level. We're dehydrated. And the first thing that I always ask, and whenever we work with doctors in the healthcare industry and healthcare professionals, when the individual comes in, the patient comes in, and they're dehydrated, all their symptoms are accelerated. Even the medications that are prescribed for them are based on a certain degree of hydration. So if you're dehydrated, it's kind of like, as we know, if you take a medication and you drink some alcohol, it has some multiple effect, physiological effect that's much greater than what was, tested in the laboratory. So hydration is a key, and the proper hydration. And when you're not drinking the right kind of water that is biocompatible, then essentially it never sticks, it never gets into the cell. Water brings minerals and nutrients into the cell and allows the cell to get waste products out. And without the proper biocompatible type water, then we're not carrying on that cellular function properly, and that backs up into inflammation, which we all know is one of big stress out there. And
huge.
Yeah, and once you start to get the body on that train, then you're inviting a whole host of pathogens and disease and all that kind of stuff, So water is a big topic, and before I lost you guys earlier, was getting into a little discussion about how I got started on this, and essentially we discovered infrared from a detox point of view, but it was on the back of Gerald Pollack's work, and I read it, and just like you said, Paige, the book is like that thick, and I'm kind of a nerd because that's my pastime reading, is reading thick science books like that, So as kind of a scientist myself, I'm always searching for clues as to why our technology, why Therasage, why the infrared frequencies are so powerful from a natural healing point of view. And little beknown to me that Gerald Pollack, who's now considered the world's authority on the back of Emoto's work, which was all about structured water. So Pollack discovered that there is a certain frequency within the infrared spectrum that will actually energize, restructure, reorder the water inside of the body. Wow. Like, for me, that was revelating. And it just completely inspired me, because I said, well, we're kind of considered
water bags.
We're considered authorities on the infrared part, and I'm always looking for clues as to why our technology works so well. We understand it from a clinical point of view, and certainly we understand it. The science on infrared is 100 years plus old. NASA uses it in space shuttle technology. It's there, but how does it affect the water, and why is that important? Well, if water fills the gap, and if this is even Gerald Pollack's work, if it's structured and ordered properly, then it's sort of like dominoes, Paige. The dominoes set up, and between cell to cell, when the dominoes are set up, meaning that the water is structured properly, then there's really good communication from one cell to another. And as we mentioned earlier, before we got on air, the homeopathic groups of the frequencies that are carried within water is so important for proper communication. And proper communication translates into cellular health, which is basically our health and our energy. So
and
this
you
is
and I know that you can't be well unless you heal the cell. Our friend Dr. Pompa, you mentioned your work with doctors. I mean, physicians world around are all really embracing your work, and they're using it in their patients to help people get better. And when you just made that comment about using this water to get properly hydrated, I mean, I had a light bulb moment when you said, we're all water. This is why people feel so great when they're on the beach. They're getting restructured from the infrared. When they take a sauna, they're actually getting restructured from that. We should get it every day by making sure that our water is properly structured with infrared technology. How beautiful is that you're literally bringing this to our tap at a very affordable price.
And Rob, you had another, obviously you were interested because when people are using the infrared sauna and they're detoxifying, they need that water to replace the toxic fluids that are coming out of their body.
Yep.
And so you had an interest there as well.
Well, Robbie, we got to take a short break, but I want to remind people, take a look at the website theragoods.com. The company is going to be making the first delivery. You want to make sure you order your their H2O countertop or pitcher or both. Get a pitcher when you order a countertop. Don't miss that chance, and we'll be back with Robby Besner.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
And welcome back. Hey, Robby, we've got one short segment, and this is so cool. I know you're an early bird, so Nico and I are going to be calling you to talk a lot more often, but let's talk real quickly. Even though tap water has fluoride, you have been able to take the components of your filter and to get the fluoride out, and we want to do a whole show on the dangers of fluoride, not just for our whole body health, but on our pineal gland, which is our seat of our soul, the way we connect to our spiritual side. But give us a little highlights of why we really don't want fluoride in the water, and we can pick this up on another talk.
You don't want to talk?
Well, yeah, you're right. It's at least an hour on that topic alone, right? But,
and that was the main reason why I always told people don't drink tap water, because I just think fluoride is horrible. I've been very involved. But the cool thing is, at a very affordable price, your product, through the use of your rare gemstone technology, the special 8-stage filtration, the structuring, and the vortexing, you're removing fluoride, and this is powerful at a very reasonable price.
Right, and it's, again, we're just looking for real solutions, and we're trying to bring it to the marketplace at a price point that we feel most families could enjoy, and really change the quality of their lives dramatically. So we've kind of had that as a philanthropic underpinning in all the different types of technologies that we've developed and brought to the market. And on the fluorides, I mean, it's just like what we're talking about earlier. I think that the intentions of the medical community and the dental community and all these agencies and so forth, they start off from the right place. But then I don't know whether it's just life gets in the way, or as the world turns, things evolve. And so fluorides were initially just a byproduct of the industrial
waste products
evolution. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then someone came up with a great idea about, wow, I mean, what do we do with these chemicals aside from dumping them into our rivers and tributaries and so forth? And then, of course, when they discovered that it will kill certain bacteria, and so then from that it derived into, or it wound up traveling into our municipal systems and into the dental offices. In fact, I remember as a child my dentist telling me to take an extra tube, aside from whatever's in toothpaste, that says fortified with fluorides. Here with a prescription you can go somewhere and get it filled and get a tube of fluoride. And I don't want you to brush with that also, because it's going to prevent you from getting cavities. Well, anyway, ultimately, the fluorides, they will inhibit the pineal gland, which is so important. You mentioned it briefly, but basically, it's a little gland about the size of a walnut, and it's in the center of your brain. And it regulates your melatonin.
Circadian rhythms, yeah.
Your melatonin, the secretion of the hormones of melatonin and serotonin. So what happens is it's a light sensitive and considered like the third eye, and in metaphysical applications it connects the crown chakra to your inner soul and so forth, and it's so important. And turns out that fluorides create a sort of a crust, or inhibit this gland from doing its job. And so it's in our waters. We're drinking these fluorides. It's messing up our pineal gland, and then so we're wondering why our sleep cycles are all messed up, because basically this gland that's light sensitive. That's why it's called the third eye, because absent the retina, the same cells that are on the pineal gland also are on your eye. And so when the pineal gland senses the sunrise, it starts to turn down the production of melatonin, which makes you groggy and sleepy and all that kind of stuff. And it starts dialing up the serotonin, which is your energy.
Well, see, this is so interesting. As you can tell, we've run out of time, Robby, but we're going to pick this up. And I want to remind everyone, Robby's going to be traveling. He's going to China, but you're going to be back with us soon. And travel safe, Robby. Visit Theragoods.com. Have a great week.
Right. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Happy New Year.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.